5v5 has officially returned, ladies and gentlemen, so we are going to do catch-ups from round 1 of this particular week. Let's get into it. Okay, so round 1 sees us going up against the gentleman known as Mortis Drauka. Interesting name. Just taking a look at the hotbot comparison here. Yeah, okay. Guild's about even, ranking is obviously about even because that's how the matchmaking works. It's got a little bit more GP than me, nearly 2 million more GP over there. No surprise that all of these stats are in his favor, but we can work around that. Modding, on the other hand, he's modded a heck of a lot more 6E mods, but it doesn't look like he's done particularly well with slicing some good speeds overall. Quite a bit of offense percentage though, so that's something to consider. He has 5 Relic 9 characters. 5. Alright, okay. So he's got all the GLs compared to my 4. We have got Lord Vader now. We unlocked his ultimate just before the lock-in for this, so I'm super happy with that. Yeah, so R9 Lord Vader, R9 JMK, R9 JML, R9 Ray, R8 on the other 2. Interesting choice with the R9 JMK. I would have probably not done that personally, but who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? So key character. This guy's got 5 Relic 9s, but his Gear 12 Darth Revan over there is just slumming it. Interesting choices from this gentleman. And of course there's another R9 on the Executor, but he's missing a star. So this is going to be an interesting battle, I would say. Interesting is how I would call it. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the footage. Now, I recorded this live on Twitch. When I started my attack run, he had already started, and as you can see, it's not looking too pretty for him. He's attacked the south wall, and he did actually drop a couple of battles. We can't quite see it just now, but I think he took 3 to take down my Star Killer. Let's see. I don't quite scroll it to show. Oh, there we go. 3. So he took 3 attempts to kill Star Killer, which is probably why he hasn't at this point full cleared. The back wall defense that I set this time was relatively garbage. As you can see, we've got Geos, we've got Rolo, and we've got a trashy resistance team. Now that Geos team actually got a hold. It took him 2 attempts to take down the Geos, even though they were rather rubbish. In the north section, I went a little bit risky here. I set 3 GLs, but as you can see, DR has got 6 holds still standing. He didn't even bother attacking JMK Cat, and Ray over there has got a hold and she's preloaded. He did also drop a battle against my new Lord Vader, but he did take it out eventually, so that's another thing to consider. Okay. Cool. So let's go ahead and get into the offense now. He says go into the offense, but we should really check out the board first. In the north, we've got a Newt Separatist team. We've got a High Relic Investment Geo team. We've got a Qui-Gon Omi, which is breaking the old the Galactic Republic faction tag, so Annie's going to be less to worry about. But there's an R5 Jolie in there. And then we've got a Bosk Zam Omicron in the north. So north wall, nothing too terrible. No loads of GLs or anything like that. In the south wall is where we've got our first little bit of a challenge. I was a little thrown off by this, I've got to be honest. I did not expect to see a Jedi Master Luke on defense, certainly not with JKR and JKL and Shakti and Hoda. That is a heavy investment for a defensive team that typically doesn't perform all that well. Now, looking at it, at R9, 120k protection is on the low side, but he is fast, so I was a little concerned about how I was going to take this team. Let's get into the first battle. So for our first battle, I decided to use Bad Batch against the Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron. I didn't feel like I needed to use this elsewhere. I wasn't going to use this against a General Grievous team or anything like that, so I thought might as well deal with one of the key enemies out of the gate. So we go ahead and dispel all that foresight, which gives us a bunch of TM, which is nice, and we roll out the ball over there from Tech. That gets our stun. I watch out for the stun. Booyah, we see the 2-turn stun landing on Anakin there, so we are free to go ahead and just kill Qui-Gon Jinn, which is exactly what we do. That will trigger one of the bonus turns from Annie, and then everybody basically dies. And we're like, all right, well, might as well just kill everybody, I guess. Jolie is like, I can revive you guys, don't worry. They worried. Good start to the match, 75 banners for myself. Next up, we are taking on the Geonosians. Now, normally I would just take in Traya and Scion against this, but this team has got a heck of a lot of investment. So I decided to throw in my really low gear Nihilus, and we also took in Dooku and my low gear Marauder, who's geared like 10 at this point. So's Nihilus, I think. Both of them are gear 10. Dooku's obviously Relic 8. But he's really there just to absorb some attacks more than anything. We just want Spy to waste that yeet on someone else because I want to maximize my chances of killing this team. I don't care about efficiency so much here. I care about just clearing it in one tap because I don't want to waste multiple teams. So Scion hits Held by Hatred and clears the board, 54 banners. It's alright, I'll take the win. We decide to just keep on trucking here. So I'm going to go ahead and use trusty CLS now. Against the Zam Omicron. Zam is just going to cause issues for me if I don't take it. I don't feel like I necessarily need to use CLS in the south wall, and I know I don't need to full clear for the win because there's no way he's getting through my north. So taking CLS here just to make this team a non-issue. Focusing down Zam there, she's out of there, they lose a bunch of their bonuses, and really what is this team now going to do against a strong CLS squad? The answer is cry. They're going to sit there, they're going to cry, and they're going to wish that they hadn't turned up to this particular battle. Me, on the other hand, I'm sitting quite pretty right now thinking, yep, easy dubs, 63 banners. After a bit of deliberation about what to take in against this Newt Gunray team, I decided, you know what, I'm probably not going to need probably not going to need Grief and Mando down in the south, so let's just go ahead and deal with this Newt Gunray team. Now, in hindsight, this was probably immensely overkill. That this was not necessary in the slightest. Boba Fett over there just yeets down Newt completely, and I'm like, wait a minute, Disintegrate works through damage immunity, right? I think so. Yeah, it does. So we just absolutely steamroll this team. Like I said, definitely overkill. Not something that I really should have taken here, I don't think, but we've done it now, committed. So, easy 65 banners there. Easy. And that is going to display fleet for us. Now, I set a relatively weak fleet defense because I went heavy defense in front of fleet. So I wanted to save all my meta fleets for offense, and he set weak fleet defense. So I know I'm comfortable in taking my Exec, Negotiator, and Malevolence to clear out the fleet board. I don't know if we go straight into that, though. Let's see. And it turns out we do. So I'm going to start my fleet battles now just to get that out of the way and lock in the win. That way we can have a bit of fun in the south section. So I take in the Executor against the Rebels, which is laughably easy matchup, to be honest with you. Yeah, we go. I probably could have gone in and hit the auto button, and it probably would have done a better job than what I did, truth be told. But what's there to worry about, really, in this setup? I feel like I've already won if I can clear fleets, and let's face it, I'm gonna clear fleets. It's gonna happen. So do I really need to be worried about efficiency? An argument can be made for, hey, you should probably practice teams for when it does matter. You can be efficient. So yeah, I had the 2 fleets on reinforcement. I could have saved myself 2 banners there. So the more you know, ladies and gentlemen. And next up, we decide to get the Negotiator out against the Home 1 fleet. Now, it does have an SF-17, but as we know, CG hates the Resistance faction, so the SF-17 is actually hot garbage. Don't get me wrong, it does a lot for the Resistance fleet, but the Resistance fleet is just so lacking, unfortunately. Sorry, I'm choking on myself there. So there's really nothing for me to really worry about here. I could have Rebels this if I had them for offense, but they were just sat on defense. It's just not a fleet to be worried about, unfortunately. On offense, it has some capabilities. It can take out things like Finalizer, which you'll never see on defense. It can take out other things. I wouldn't take it up against Rebels or anything like that, or even going up against Empire, it's a bit dodgy. But hey, 73 banners for me. 1 fleet left, and that's just the Empire fleet now going up against the Chimera. So we decide to take in our last meta fleet, which will be the Malevolence. Standard lineup here, guys. We'll go with Sunfac and the 2 Vulture Droids, the Hyena Bomber and the Vulture Droid, with more reinforcements than I need to take. Again, this is simply because I have got the luxury of being able to throw banners away, because I know as soon as I clear this wall, I've basically won. Yeah, pro tip, guys, in 5v5 during Kyber, if you've got 3 fleets on defense, the north section is overall with more banners, so if you want to try and protect a zone, protect your fleets, because you can then win on efficiency. A little bit more easier. A little bit more easier, a little bit easier. That's really bad English from me, guys. So we've already taken out the Imperial TIE Bomber, which is an annoying ship, but the Sith Marauder ship, the Sith Bomber, is also quite annoying, to be honest. Letting that thing get some purchase is actually incredibly frustrating. I think we just don't recall any reinforcements because we don't really need to. If I don't need to call a reinforcement, I won't. It just risks losing additional banners. And we just keep on going ham. Now, the Emperor's shuttle is actually very annoying because it does keep things alive for far too long. And it gains all that bonus protection. Pesky. And then the TIE Iron Interceptor. What a great fleet that is. It's a massive addition to the Empire fleet, to be fair. I hate the fact that it just dispels everything. Dispels all its debuffs and puts a bunch of like irresistible buff immunity. Or at least it feels irresistible. Annoying ship. Very good ship, but annoying. Constantly gaining foresight. And it actually yeets out my TIE Bomber. And I was like, uh-oh. Could we be in a squeaky bum moment here? Turns out no, we're okay. Just call in spy. And that's it. Basically game over. If we actually did any damage. Looks like this guy's got relic investments on his Inquisitorius. I'm sorry for you. All joking aside, the Inquisitorius fleet is actually not Inquisitorius fleet. The Inquisitorius faction is not all that bad, but it's not great either. It does some stuff on offense. There you go. I think it's a low priority farm if you ask me, guys. Wait until after you finish your Galactic Legends, wait until you've got Starkiller, then maybe think about Inquisitorius. But there'll probably be something else that comes that's even better. So 66 banners. Let's start attacking south. So to that point, Inquisitorius are actually a decent faction. That's why I'm taking them up against the team that they're supposed to beat. We are taking them up against Jedi Master Luke. My Gear 8 Inquisitorius are gonna... They died. All part of the plan, guys. I just wanted to burn some cooldowns on the JML team before I take in my JML. I've only got JML for offense as far as GLs are concerned. Because his JML was going first, I decided, you know what, I don't need the banners. We've already won on efficiency. So I might as well guarantee I get a victory by shutting down his, or getting rid of the problem of his efflux out of the gate. So yeah, he does have a Datacron that is going to be stacking his offense, I believe. Oh no, it recovers health and protection on him. And I thought that could be a little bit annoying, so I want to make sure that I give myself the best chance at clearing another wall, see what he's got on the back section. So obviously he comes in, marks the worst person possible for him to mark. I'm like, gee, thanks guys. Gets the stun off, but obviously the stun only affects 2 of my characters. I'm like, gee, thanks guys. We get the stun off, obviously it only affects 2 of his characters. And he triggers Savior on my GMY, and okay, well at least we've triggered Savior. Go ahead and call in GMY here. Kill Revan. I'm like, okay, I'm happy. We spread the buffs, I believe. Or are we just going to be calling in? No, I was going to say, we definitely spread the buffs. And Luke actually gains bonus true damage when he hits a tank character, so it's quite useful to call him in versus JML. We lose our Revan, but that's okay. I think we increase cooldowns on his Luke. I call in GMY because he's going to gain TM more than anything. We hop, and then we just keep on calling our Luke. I want to try and hit ultimate if I can. Let's go, keep coining. Every opportunity. Coin, coin, coin. Let's go. We have to target JML right now. Don't have any other choice. If I coin... Well, if I'd have coined then, I would have actually been able to ult here with Jedi Master Luke. So that was obviously me doing a mistake. He's still got quite a bit of healing here, so I'm a little bit worried. I'll get the blind on JML. We'll hop. I think I'm passing this over to Jedi Master Luke now. Ah, maybe I put it... Oh, okay. I thought I was going to pass the Jedi Master Luke so he could take a turn quicker so we could hit ult, but I guess we decided not to do that. Hit that blind, came in clutch there by making sure his Efflux missed everybody, which is lovely. We'll hit our ult. Lovely, lovely. We change our robes, looking rather dapper in the new black robes. Booyah. I love the fact that that attack has now been changed to inflict damage against GLs. It does actually make a significant difference to JKL's kit. Come on, we need to kill that Luke before he hits his ult. That's my ultimate plan here. Let's go. Boop. Beautiful. I think we do the big heal here to try and save our GMY. Now they're stuck because they cannot ignore taunt. So I use my Luke to clear off his buffs. And at this point, we should be pretty plain sailing. Our JML is looking healthy. We've got 150,000 protection, so we're doing nearly 100k whenever we call to assist. Oh, see that there? I think it's 92,000 damage. Not bad at all. Start spreading a little bit more Master's Training. Extra defense, extra offense, extra yumminess, and yeet out the Jedi Knight Luke. 40 banners, but again, we don't need the banners for the victory. We're already winning. So this one was a little bit odd. He's actually got an Admiral Ackbar and Princess Leia, both of them with the Omicron. So I was like, oh, okay. I'll General Grievous it? Because I was like, he's going to be gaining a lot of TM, so I could rely on B2 to start, you know, clearing off all those buffs. I've never faced this before because, let's be honest, I've never faced a mad lad crazy enough to actually put Omicrons on Ackbar and Princess Leia. So this was definitely a learning experience for me. I was like, what actually happens here? They get lots of tenacity, they gain loads of buffs, they gain loads of TM. So, oh, well, okay. I did the AoE regardless because I'm like, I want to try and trigger bonus turns on my B2 as much as possible. And yeah, it's definitely interesting. I'm deciding to go after Captain Han Solo because ultimately he can revive people. I want to keep my B2 in the game. He's the only way I'm getting turns, really. Newt over there wants to do stuff. Go on, kill Captain Han. Yes, there we go. And we'll just keep on dispelling those buffs. And hopefully land some more buff immunity. Keep Newt alive, maybe. Kill Rolo. Rolo's out of there. Can we stun Ackbar? Nope. More bonus turns for us. Lovely. And then we can even get some extortion off the fish dude. Yep. Fishy boy is out of there. Let's go. He paid his extortion. He paid his taxes, guys. But really, this wasn't too bad. Obviously, this isn't clean in banners, and it could have gone a bit sideways. If they'd have actually killed the B2, we might have been in a bit more bother. But ultimately, it wasn't that big of a deal. We're still just about hanging in there. They don't have enough characters now to actually sustain. And I feel like I used a team that I won't necessarily need to use anywhere else. 60 banners is okay. Next up for us is a Phasma-led First Order team. Now, the support for this team is pretty lackluster, so I've taken in an incredibly lackluster Jedi team. Basti lead is still actually very viable. Our only damage here is really Shakti. And she's not exactly a damage dealer, but I've got Ayla here, and I was like, Ayla can stun. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute, that advantage is stopping us from critting, which is stopping us from stunning. The more you know. So I was like, hang on, maybe I should just call in Shakti to get rid of the advantage so that I can then stun them with Ayla. So I was like, yeah, let's do that. And they immediately gain it back, and I'm like, oh, for God's sake. So this one is a bit of a slog, guys. We've got a lot of bonus protection. Obviously, old Ben is taunting. The bonus protection that we get from Bastila's lead is keeping him in the game quite a bit. But we don't really have the damage is the main concern. So I'm just looking to spread those stuns around because, you know, the more I can control the board, the better off it's going to be. Fox for them is their biggest damage dealer, and it actually represents a bit of a threat. So I'm like, yep, let's try and take care of Fox. After this, we've got a choice between dealing with First Order Officer, who can obviously control the field a bit more, debuff and stuff like that, and can turn swap, or we go after the Pilot, who deals more damage overall. I want to try and control the First Order Stormtrooper because I don't want him ever taunting, because he can be incredibly thick and then he'll start counterattacking, and that's just not a fun time for anybody, truth be told. Calling in Ayla here, landing those stuns, hopefully get the stun on Phasma as well. Beautiful. I'm like, ooh, Phasma's actually quite squishy. Maybe we should focus on her. But then First Order Stormtrooper gets taunt off. I'm like, well, let's get rid of that. And basic. We should just basic here with Shakti to get rid of that advantage, I feel. Yeah, First Order Officer is starting to look a little bit on the squish side. He's going down. They're going after my Jolie. I'm like, oh, God, out of all of my Jedi, I really don't want you to hit Jolie. My Jolie is only gear 12 still, guys. I have neglected poor Mr. Bindo for far too long, I feel. Maybe it's time for me to finally start investing in some gear. But eventually, we are starting to chew through this team. They've lost one of their big damage dealers. Now they've lost their key support character. It's just a case of maybe we just put it on order. I'm confident at this point that we can win, especially with Phasma about to bite it. And then they're going after First Order Stormtrooper. I'm like, no, leave him alone and go after the damage dealer. Leave him alone. Leave it. Well, we've committed now. AI does silly things sometimes. What can I say? There's actually a pretty decent amount of recovery in this team as well, thanks to Shakti and Jolie. So we've got decent sustain. Looks like we actually recover the banners there on old Ben as well, which is nice. Can't stun him just yet. And there's the... What? If she'd have called in Jolie there, we might have actually recovered an extra banner there. But this is still good banners at the end of the day, guys. We used a relatively shit team, and we got max banners. I'll take it. Now then, we've just got the JTR BB-8 with the Rose Tico Omicron and OG Finn. Interesting choice. So I decided to just go in with Maul. This is completely overkill, but I was like, I've already won the match. I just want to see what's on the back wall. I'm sure we have a decent chance at clearing the back wall regardless. In hindsight, I definitely wasted some good teams. Namely, using the Bounty Hunters against that Newt team was overkill. Using this here, definitely overkill. But hey, you never know what can happen when Omicrons are in the question. And JTR is actually a pretty solid team. Now, if they had this with the Bag Bros, that would actually make this a much better team, and I would be more justified in using more Mandos with Watt against it. But that's just not the case, and they get absolutely rolled by Maul Mandos. I love Maul Mandos, guys. They have got such viability across the game. Do you want to take a turn, Poe? Yeah, he does. He does want to take a turn. I probably could have got the kill here with Watt by just, using his second special. But we decided to let them have a turn instead. All right, full banners there, and that is going to reveal the back wall section. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. What is the defense looking like? Da-da-da-da. We've got Lord Vader. I'm like, I could have full cleared this. He's got a Starkiller team in the back wall and Lord Vader with Maul. So I'm like kicking myself for using my Bounty Hunters earlier, because I could have had a chance at beating this Lord Vader if I'd have kept my Bounty Hunters to go with Fennec. So ultimately, a little bit frustrating. Could have got the full clear, but unlikely now. So we've got Starkiller and we've got a Dash team. The Dash team is not particularly chunky, so I'm not that worried about it. Now, Starkiller is a team that you cannot really afford to underestimate. So I took in Gas, but I knew that I was going to go first because I checked the speeds. My Rex is very fast. With his modifiers, he's like 390. And the idea is I want to be able to inflict the cooldown increase on Mara Jade, so she cannot get that first stun off and land all that tenacity down. However, I want to guarantee that I land that. So I do all my attacks, I do no AoEs, just focusing on GK so he cannot gain his taunt. And this is where I do the AoE here, and hope for the big hits and get the crits. So I'm looking out for yellow damage. Everybody gets crit. Beautiful. That means all their cooldowns have been decreased, so she cannot do all the nasty stuff and start a TM roll. At this point, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. As long as we get rid of Mara Jade, ultimately, if I have to 2-tap this, I can probably clean it up with something. GK is already losing max health now, and is dead. So we're looking good. I'm focusing on Mara Jade because she's actually more of a threat than Starkiller is at the moment. We're critting her, so she is unable to actually use her useful abilities, and she's just dead. And now I'm like, well, we're definitely going to win. We're definitely going to win this particular battle. Starkiller taking back-to-back turns. Cheeky little so-and-so. And I'm just like, yep, actually, let's remove the threat of Starkiller. He stays alive, and I'm like, oh. I forget all the bonus health that he gets from his unique. Our Gas sits down. I'm like, okay, well, what are they going to do? If I had the form up there, we might have been able to get Gas to stand back up. Maybe extra banner there, but 60 banners is 60 banners. And now we are going to deal with the Dash Bounty Hunters. I decided to take in Imperial Troopers because I've already used Shakti. I can't use this against Lord Vader, so I don't really have any choice. I might as well start trying to do something that's going to kill this team. Because it does have the Omicron and there is Vandal Chewie in there, there's going to be a lot of reviving going on. But, we have got lots and lots of damage coming out of our troopers, thankfully. So as soon as I get an opportunity to kill Vandal Chewie, we will do it. We will take it, both hands, and celebrate our superiority. But until that moment comes, we're just going to have to play it cool. Unfortunately, there's a lot of recovery here, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to rely on some AoEs to start killing people. We nearly killed Vandal Chewie there. There's no point doing the Death Mark, the Terminate ability, because it's not going to do anything just yet. We need to kill one person first. I mean, I suppose if we land the Terminate and it kills someone, it should stop the revive, I believe. But I know that the Death Mark has to have a permanently dead character on the enemy's field. for it to work. Or when you use it, there has to be a dead character for it to work. So we're just punching our way through this L3. Obviously, she's dying lots. Come on, throw it. Boop. Get some heal immunity. That's nice. That'll help us deal with that Vandal Chewy. AoEs. Nearly. AoE. Goodbye, Vandal Chewy. He is out of there. And then we punch Dash's lights out. And we punch Kira's lights out. And now we can settle in and read a book. Because we're going to be here for about 3 more minutes. So I'm just going to do this, guys. Because I'm sure you all don't want to be sat here watching me wail on Nest. I was incredibly surprised by this. I was like, that's a gear 12 Nest. She should have dropped. Like, damn, son. It's easy to underestimate Nest. Because this was gear 12, I thought, yeah, no problem. We got this, no problem. There was a problem. Especially with all those dots stacking up, it nearly crashed my game. But I was like, okay, Nest, you need to take a turn, love. Take a turn. Game nearly crashes. I'm like, okay, cool, terminate. Boom. Just a couple of seconds left on the clock, but we got it. And that is basically where the game ends. I had nothing left to deal with Lord Vader. I did throw in some token teams there just for fun, but really, 1522 to 885. Good start to 5v5, punched up 2 million, up against 2 more GLs, and he had lots, 5 Relic 9s? I will take that victory all day, every day, right home to the bank. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to catch up with the second round very, very shortly, and I hope you guys go ahead and comment down below and tell me how to actually deal with Nest, and maybe not to waste my useful teams ahead of time. Got to work for that full clear, guys. Got to work for that full clear. All right, guys. Until the next video. Peace.
Just giving a quick shout out to my patrons. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and without your support, I wouldn't be doing this today. Thanks so much.